Oh, nice. This is exactly what I wanted to cook. Ah, too bad. It's gone bad. Have to get rid of it.
Is this something that has ever happened to you? To us, it did as well. And this is exactly the reason why we came up with a solution and the use case for this AI hackathon. What we're trying to achieve is battling food waste. And because change starts with you, this is exactly where we are going to tackle the problem. We're helping you with our solution keep track of all the products that you have in your pantry or fridge and use them up before they expire. You will be able to keep a list of things that you have in the fridge, know exactly when they're about to expire, and if they're going to expire in a couple of days, you will get recipes that help you use them up and turn them into nice and very healthy meals that help you minimize the food waste and make the best use of the products that you have at home.
Together with my colleague Christian Todte, I'm Alex Dean. We created a solution using Fabric as our tool of choice to track food that's being imported into a database using Power Apps and image recognition. We'll show you a little bit more about that in a second. And the idea is using AI to A, figure out when the food is going to expire, and B, using AI to also figure out great tasting recipes that we can use to use up food before it actually expires to make sure that we use what's in our fridge. Now, Christian, the word over to you to give us a bit of a demonstration and talk us through the solution that's been built.
Yes, thanks, Alex. Hi, everyone. Let me quickly switch my camera and show you what we have. So what we developed, as Alex mentioned, is a solution to fight food waste. The idea and the layout of what we have built looks a little bit like the Visio that you see in front of yourself. So the layout is as following. We're importing the data from the Open Food Facts database and putting everything that we have there into a lakehouse. Then we have another portion of the solution, which is the scanner app. And with this, we are bringing everything that you have in your pantry or that you brought home from your trip to the supermarket that you can scan and take pictures of. And we are taking this and writing it into another database. And then we are using AI to check how long these products that you bought or that you're checking in are going to last in your fridge or in your pantry, so that we can determine if we have to use them up or if we can still have them in the pantry a little bit longer and stock them for longer. And this is done via using, like I said, OpenAI and bringing everything into a semantic model, then creating some triggers, the data activator. We integrated that into the solution so that we can trigger a flow once one of our measures, which is when is the food going to expire. Once our measures hits a certain threshold, we will get a trigger, send this to a Power Automate flow, and again trigger a request or a prompt asking the AI to create recipes with all of the food in our fridge and all of the ingredients that are about to expire soon. This is then taken into a mail and sent to you for your convenience, so that you know exactly, okay, this is the day when I need to use them up. I've got 2 or 3 more days left, and it's time to take action so that we don't wasting any food. And we're going to show you parts of the solution. Like I said, first of all, we're loading the Open Food Facts database, and we use the notebook to load it. And this is what it looks like. So what we're doing is we are creating first our lakehouse, which is the important part. We're starting with the lakehouse. Then we are loading the zip from Open Food Facts. We're saving it into the lakehouse, unpacking it, and then writing everything into the lakehouse so that we have a reference for our barcodes that we're going to scan with the Power App. so that we can see, okay, what is the product and when it is going to expire, getting some more information about the products itself. And
by the way, big shout out to the Microsoft Python team. Thank you so much for giving us these great samples that you can install in the Fabric workspaces. They gave us all the ideas to be able to easily download files from the internet and populate our lakehouse.
Exactly. So this is really a plug-and-play solution. So we used a lot of the code that we already had and could use that to create our solution as we wanted to have them. And yeah, that last part, write them into the lakehouse. And after everything is written into the lakehouse, what we're doing then is we are quickly showing you the scanner app, how this works. So this is the barcode scanner app that we're using to fill our fridge or to put all of the products that we have into our fridge. We're reading the barcode. Yeah, it's not enough. We can also take a picture and check what the product is. And then we are going to log the product and send it to our fridge so that we know what do we have as products to use. Okay, and this actually triggers our next notebook, which you can see here, the add ingredients to the fridge.
Okay, I'll take over here. So the first thing we're doing is we're importing the OpenAI library into this notebook. Now it's important for anybody who's going to be reproducing this. If you trigger a notebook using a schedule, or in our case using an API endpoint, you can't use the pip magic. You can't install OpenAI on the fly. It has to be pre-installed with the right version that you require. So you'll see at the top, the environment is the OpenAI environment. We created a specific environment for this with the OpenAI DLL already loaded. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have a parameter block that allows us to pass in the parameters from the Power Apps workflow. So that's now going to be passing in a bag of nuts and the barcode. We're passing in both because sometimes we might not find a barcode in the database. It's a huge database with over 3 million items, but there might still be barcodes that it doesn't know. So having a little AI builder image detection helps us be a little bit more robust when it comes to figuring out what product we're looking at. So the next step, we're looking up the barcode in the database, and if we find it, then we use that product name. Here comes the fun part, the OpenAI part. We're now using OpenAI as a food concierge who will tell us how long does a product normally last in the fridge or in the pantry. So this can tell us a cucumber lasts maybe for 5 to 7 days in the fridge, and a bag of nuts might last 6 months in the pantry. Using some clever prompt engineering, we ask OpenAI to give us a good estimate of how long it will last. Now, although we tell OpenAI to tell us hours and days, GPT keeps on giving me or us weeks and months, so we have to do a little bit of cleanup. So the next segment is just cleaning up the response, saying, hey, if it's months, then we take it times 30. If it's weeks, we take it times 7, and try to figure out sort of the average. That might be 3 to 5 weeks, so we'll take an average of 4 weeks and say, okay, this product will last 4 weeks in the pantry, and use that as an expiry date. So we pack that onto the current date, and we know roughly when it's going to expire, and we're going to save that to the database. That can now be used as a trigger point as soon as the expiry date triggers an action, and I'm going to pass that over back to Christian.
Yep. Thanks, Alex. So this is the fridge that we've now filled with our products with the logic that Alex just explained. So we have lots of different things in the fridge, lots of different products in the fridge. And this is the basis for our model that we created. So really basic semantic model based up on the lakehouse table. And we're doing some really basic calculation to determine, okay, when is the product going to go bad with the date that we just determined by using the AI. And this feeds into a report also really just a basic report that shows us how long are these different projects going to last. For example, the pita bread is really a longer shelf life item. The vegetable stock will last for another year almost. And we have some falafel mix, some tomatoes, and the items that we really need to use as soon as possible are the chicken breast, mint, some milk, eggs, cucumbers, yogurt, etc. So this is the items that we need to use up fast. With this, we created a data activator trigger. So we created a reflex. And as you can see, we're seeing, okay, our yogurt is going to go bad pretty soon. So we're assuming this is now triggering our custom action that we defined before. And we're using this custom action to send, whenever this trigger hits, an action to our Power Automate flow. And this is the Power Automated flow. So every time the trigger fires, every time a product goes under 5 days or until its expiry date, we're getting the trigger. Then we're defining the secret, the API key that we need to later log on to OpenAI and to actually use the services. We're doing some requests based on the data. So we want to know how long certain items will last. We want to know which are the required items that we need to use up, which are the items in the fridge that will last a bit longer, so that we can use that information later on in our recipe and create a recipe that not only uses the part of the product that is going to expire soon, but also everything else that I have in the fridge. And we're doing some formatting, then sending it to OpenAI to actually create a recipe, doing again some formatting and sending a mail.
Now, before you move on, important tip here. Yeah, we actually decided to use an HTTP call to talk to the OpenAI endpoint. That's mainly because of the way that the Hackathon API endpoint is available to us. And there is also a custom action that allows you to talk directly to the OpenAI environment, but that is not Azure OpenAI, that is OpenAI. So for us to talk to Azure OpenAI and to talk to the Hackathon endpoint, we ended up using an HTTP call to make that work.
Exactly. Thanks. So as mentioned, in the end, we're sending a mail, and the mail that you will receive is something like this. So you get the information about the items that are going to expire, and you get some really nice recipes that not only use up, like I said, the items that are going to expire, but also, for example, the eggplant or the pita bread and falafel mix that is in our fridge that we can use, but are not really to be used up soon. So this is our solution. This is what we came up with. We hope you like it, and we think this adds really some value and helps battle the food waste, and this is why we are the FoodFighters.
Yeah, and we actually added one little bonus feature to the solution as well. Christian, can you just quickly open up the training Python notebook, and I can walk people through that as well in the Fabric environment. So you might have noticed really good recipe suggestions, but you might have a very specific cooking style. Maybe you love to cook Asian fusion, or maybe you're vegan and you only want to get vegan recipes provided by the model. So what we also added to the whole solution is a Python notebook that allows you to effectively fine-tune your own model and use that as your own personal master chef. So in this one here, we're going to be using the pip magic, so pip install to install the OpenAI DLL into this notebook. And if you scroll down, a classic parameter block that's just got the API key. We're using Key Vault to keep that secure. And then the next part is getting the data. So we provided as part of the Git repo a training file, and that training file focuses specifically on recipes that are Asian fusion vegan. So a vegan master chef that really likes to create crazy mixtures between Asian flavors and European ingredients, maybe once in a while with a dumpling mix, maybe a taco twist on it. And using that in a fine-tuning will really steer the GPT assistant down a certain path. And using that, if we scroll down further, we're then going to upload the training file. We're going to run a training directly from Python and have OpenAI train the model. Now, we had to use the OpenAI API for this in the end because the Hackathon API couldn't handle fine-tunings. But that's cool. If you want to do it yourself, you can do it with OpenAI, fine-tune it. And here's the fun part. This is now using the newly trained model. Where we're telling him you're a certain style we'd like to see. Here's some ingredients: cucumber, capsicum, flour, and soy sauce. And this instance came up with a fusion cucumber pancake suggestion. So making pancakes that are quite eggy and floury like a normal pancake, but with some interesting Asian ingredients and a dipping sauce to top with that. I haven't tried the recipe, but I'm actually curious to see what that's going to taste like. So yes, you can even create your own master chef that is going to be cooking just the way you want to based on the ingredients in your fridge. I hope you enjoyed the session. I hope you enjoy the Git repository. Feel free to download all the Python notebooks we've made available for you. We've put the DAX measures in there. We've also created a Power Platform solution file for you to also install the Power app with the barcode scanner, the image scanner, the automate flow that sends it to the Python notebook, and the automate flow that gets the recipe and sends you an email with the recipe. All of that is in the solution file for you guys to also install within your environment and start creating your own food waste hacking solutions.